This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
We were sleeping that day and he was literally going at every window and banging as hard as he could. I was scared to open the door when people knocked, scared to come home because I was afraid that they'd be waiting for me.
A single mom signs a rent-to-own contract. It sent her and her kids into hiding. See why signing on the dotted line keeps you under their thumb. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on rent-to-own retailers in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. It was a double murder that shocked the Suncoast. We begin tonight with an update on the man suspected of killing 2 people at a Longboat Key hotel. Daryl Hanner Jr. is said to be brain dead from a medical condition causing him to lose brain function before even having to face a jury. Christine Greer and Thomas Swigert were waiting to see the man arrested for killing their loved ones, but Hanna never showed up. Hanna is accused of shooting and killing Timothy Hurley, Greer's uncle, and Zota Beach Resort's night desk manager, Kevin Carter, Schweikert's partner and the resort's security guard.
It's the way we wanted. It's not, the people who's hurting most from his incident is his family, not him.
Yeah, when you've got a relative dying, you know that they're dying. That's not the same thing as having one stolen from you in the middle of the night.
The case management hearing has been rescheduled. We didn't need a presidential proclamation to know the opioid crisis is a national emergency, but today's announcement by President Trump opens the possibility of federal funding going to law enforcement officers across the country. Here on the Suncoast, the Sarasota Sheriff's Office says it has seen a 62% decrease in opioid-related overdoses this quarter, but that does not mean that the problem is going away anytime soon.
It's a killer. This is not something you play with. You get addicted very easily, and it kills very quickly. So you could be an addict for one day and be dead.
The sheriff said today that while they have made headway in educating the public about opioid dangers, they won't fully go away until the drug does. Police are asking for the community's help to identify a person of interest in a series of murders in the Tampa neighborhood. Tampa PD releasing this video today showing the person of interest walking on a street close to the first homicide around the time the victim was shot. The individual appears to be looking at a phone, then walking towards the scene before running away. At this time, police are not saying that the person is a suspect, but it is likely they saw or heard something that could be used to solve the murders. A man has been arrested for breaking into a local restaurant. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies were called to Siesta Key Oyster Bar this morning for reports of a burglary overnight. The manager arrived and discovered damage to the door and the frame, along with missing dollar bills that were stapled to the wall of the restaurant. Deputies obtained surveillance video and quickly identified the suspect. Opening breakdown lanes to traffic when hurricanes or other disasters threaten Florida will continue to be the primary way to speed up evacuations rather than converting all traffic lanes to the same direction. The Florida Department of Transportation says too many safety concerns remain to make highways one way for evacuees. The department says the use of breakdown lanes work, but needs some improvement, including public awareness.
I don't think the public knew about the plan. The public did not understand when they saw that barrier saying, hey, let's go left, get on this shoulder. And then they hit those rumble strips. Psychologically something, sociologically something happened. And some of those issues have to be worked on.
Department of Transportation says reversing the direction can only be done during daylight hours and would limit the ability of relief operations and fuel trucks to travel into impacted areas. A Florida state representative is President Trump's pick to become the new ambassador to the Organization of American States. Representative Carlos Trujillo is a Miami Republican attorney, and he is currently the budget chairman for the Florida House. The 34-year-old representative says he does not plan to resign from the Florida House until he is confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Lawmakers and law enforcement officers are praising a new state law taking effect this month regarding credit card skimmers, the use of illegal devices which illegally collect credit card or debit card information has increased dramatically this year. State figures show the number of skimmers found at gas pumps went up by 160% in the first 7 months of 2017. The new law makes it illegal to possess skimmer equipment regardless of what information is actually stored on the device.
We have way too many people in our community that are willing to prey on innocent people and steal their identities. And as we all know, if that happens, the process to recover is tedious at best.
If undetected, each skimmer is capable of collecting credit card or debit card information from hundreds of consumers. Boy, Bob, dry and cool and blue skies today.
Yeah, finally a taste of fall. In fact, a little bit like winter at points. So we had temperatures in the low 50s, well inland, but generally mid 50s were the lows. If you lived right on the water this morning, it was around 60 degrees. Van Wezel webcam showing beautiful sunshine out there, hardly any clouds at all. Once in a while, a cumulus cloud may come on by, but that has been about it. With clear skies and rather light winds tonight, temperatures will fall rather quickly this evening, and we're looking for lows to be 1 or 2 degrees above what we saw this morning. So it will be kind of a cool start to Friday. 66 degrees right now. This is the number that we watch to see how comfortable it is out there. During the summer months, this never goes below 70. That's why it's so humid out there during the summer. It's at now 43, and the humidity at 43%. Winds are out of the east at 5, and the pressure continues to rise now at 30.03 inches. Temperatures already down into the mid 60s across the region. 64 in Arcadia. It's 67 degrees now. In Cortez, 77, the Gulf of Mexico. Lows tonight for some cities around town. 52 in Northport, 57 in Rotunda, 53 in Inglewood. There it is, 57 now. Expected low temperature right there into Venice, Lakewood Ranch at 55. Braden, you'll be at 58 degrees, a little bit cooler in Parrish, further inland away from the water there, and 60 at Anna Maria. And as far as the forecast goes through this evening, looking pretty good. We'll see fair skies right in through 11 o'clock. And we are going to see a chance for rain over the weekend. In fact, it really is quite elevated. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later.
The lawns need it.
They sure do.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, people turn to rent-a-centers for furniture or appliances, but are getting charged outrageous prices. Is this legal? Stay with us.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better. With amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today, A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
The state of Florida may be allowing one of the country's largest retailers to charge inflated prices for refrigerators, washers, and TVs, and customers who have fallen behind in payments call their debt collection tactics harassment. Tonight, a special ABC7 at 7 investigation, Retailers of Last Resort. Here's Lee Zurich.
Welcome. Let me explain why Rent-A-Center is the real deal.
A friendly face.
You can't beat that.
Sells a hassle-free option to buying big-ticket items.
And see how small your payment is at Rent-A-Center.
But thousands of customers,
I felt like my hands were tied behind my back.
Lodge complaints that allege the company that promises to care,
you can always count on RAC,
instead threatens.
They were gonna have me arrested and press criminal charges.
Harasses.
They took it out of control with the phone calls.
And exploits.
You know, I had no idea I was going to sign a contract like this.
A Raycom Media joint investigation with NerdWallet into the country's largest rent-to-own company, Rent-A-Center, has found a loosely regulated industry that preys on the poor. Our review of more than 3,000 complaints filed with the Federal Trade Commission and attorneys general in 15 states detail examples of alleged price gouging and harassment.
I was scared to open the door when people knocked.
Jessica Gonzalez filed a harassment suit.
I was afraid that they'd be waiting for me in the front. I wanted them to stop, and I didn't know how else to do it.
She bought a used bedroom set and a washer at a Miami Rent-A-Center. While working full-time at a law firm, she made on-time payments for a year. But a thyroid condition forced her to cut back on hours and miss some of her $70 weekly Rent-A-Center payments. That's when she says the harassment began.
I'm in bed Saturday morning when you plan to sleep in, wake up late with the kids, maybe watch some TV or cereal.
Instead, a thump on her bedroom window startled her out of a deep sleep.
So they are actually banging on this window right here when you're sleeping in the bed there?
Yes, correct. Yes, and they would even like try to see through on the side there. I would see them.
If you were in there?
Yes.
Rent-A-Center showed up at 8 in the morning, ready to collect a $70 payment, just one day late.
And they would bang so hard, I would feel that they were going to break the window.
One weekend morning when the banging started, Jessica rushed to grab her kids. She moved the family to an interior closet.
I just felt really guilty for my children having to go through this.
A 7- and 9-year-old in hiding for nearly an hour.
All of that essentially over being late on a $70 payment?
Yes, correct.
Rent-A-Center's application requires references. It can be a family member or friend who unknowingly could be asked to vouch for the customer.
They will call me like daily, every single day.
Jessica listed her longtime friend Joseph, who didn't know he was listed as a reference.
Do you feel like they were harassing you?
Yes, I do. They were really harassing me. I'm trying to work, I'm trying to be with my family, and all they will do is call, and I'll pick up, and they'll be there like all mad with an attitude.
While Rent-A-Center tried to collect Jessica's late payment, Joseph endured months of unwanted calls, repeatedly being told to have Jessica pay up.
I didn't miss no payments, but it sure as hell felt like if I was the one, if I was missing payments on something.
Unlike a bank or other creditors, Rent-A-Center is not regulated by the federal government. A military family in California filed this suit against Rent-A-Center, alleging debt collection harassment with an unreasonable frequency of 20 calls a week. The active duty military member said Rent-A-Center threatened to contact his first sergeant to embarrass him and did in fact call. The two sides reached a confidential settlement.
I took them for their word. I thought, okay, well, I've never been to a place where salespeople have lied to me.
Melinda Sandlin needed new bedroom furniture.
I had asked them if I could just pay it up front because I had the cash to pay the whole bedroom set at that time. And they told me, well, if you want to improve your credit, you need to at least make 3 to 4 payments. And then we have the early payment option where you can buy it out after 90 days.
But when she went to pay up,
he told me, well, you can't, you need to make more payments. You need to actually, purchase it.
Melinda filed a complaint with the Texas Attorney General, writing she had paid $3,300 on that $2,900 bedroom set. The company told her she had $8,000 more to go, and the furniture wasn't for sale, but only for rent.
I said, why would I do that? I said, why was I lied to? Why did the salesperson, lie to me? My whole purpose of buying a bedroom set was for purchase and for improving my credit. So I went with that full intention, and the salesperson knew it.
For many, the price of being poor is costly for those who rent.
The furnitures are selling it for over 3 times what it's worth, if not 4 times what it's worth. So it's price gouging.
Jessica bought this nightstand, bed, dresser, and mirror. And get this, it was all used, some damaged. The total cost around $4,000.
I think I could have furnished the whole house with $4,700 or so.
Raycom Media and our partners at NerdWallet examined Rent-A-Center prices on 40 products around the country. What we found, massive markups. A refrigerator at an Alabama Rent-A-Center costs $4,200. You can buy the same fridge at Best Buy for $1,700.
Even if the company does what they're supposed to do, it's a huge ripoff.
We found 11 states that limit how much stores can inflate prices, and that regulation makes a difference. Most consumer products are typically more expensive in Hawaii, but a washer-dryer at a Rent-A-Center there is more than $400 cheaper than on the mainland because Hawaii limits prices.
A financial advisor who would be talking to them would tell them to run away. I mean, run. Don't walk out of that store. Get out of there. I mean, this is just a horrible way to do it.
Rent-A-Center operates 2,500 stores across the U.S. For 5 weeks, we asked them for an on-camera interview. They declined. They wouldn't even answer our calls, only email. Rent-A-Center did send our partners at NerdWallet their mission to improve customers' quality of life. Rent-A-Center's own corporate records suggest their business model is based on people missing payments and returning products. They write products typically are rented 3 times before being sold, and only 25% of first-time rental agreements end with customers owning the property. Those return items go back on the sales floor. We found a used washer in a New Orleans area Rent-A-Center just $80 cheaper than the new one online.
They just said for me to return my property then, and then I would tell them I paid over, X amount, $2,000, $3,000 already. I'm planning to keep my property, just bear with me. I want to bring my account up to date, and I will, and I would give them a date as to when I can satisfy the debts. And they weren't having it. They just wanted to come pick up the property by any means.
A company that claimed to be looking out for her,
you deserve the best, and that's the real deal,
turned her away from rent to own.
The embarrassment that we went through, the fear that we went through, the harassment, it felt like stalking. We did not deserve that for it being $70.
In response to our story, Rent-A-Center writes, our mission is to improve our customers' quality of life, providing access to durable goods for cash and credit-constrained consumers, and serving as a welcome hand up amid a sea of thumbs down. We'll discuss with our experts in a moment at the Trapezoid.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, Call the Rely On Group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. The Suncoast is an arts and cultural paradise, and that is good for business. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We talk to a national arts advocate about why our impressive art scene is so important to our growth as a region. We'll talk transportation needs, too, as we wrap up Age-Friendly Sarasota Week and get ready for the big weekend festival. Plus, the latest in athleisure fashions and Gold Rush Barbecue in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Welcome back. This is why we're calling it the retailer of last resort. The reality is, whether it's because of bad credit or they just can't afford it, many folks turn to places like Rent-A-Center or other rent-to-own businesses to get TVs, refrigerators, and furniture. But as we just reported, there are accusations from consumers in Florida and across the nation of over-the-top collection practices and massive markups of items, and it's all legal. Joining us for more is Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau and Jerry Zivick, our own consumer watchdog. And Brian, let me start with you. How many retailers like this are there in Florida?
Well, there's many different retailers in the rent-to-own industry, and there's hundreds of locations throughout the state of Florida that are out there offering these services to consumers. Now,
the investigation that we just showed you deals with Rent-A-Center. Are there a lot of complaints about the tactics of this company at places from Sarasota and across the entire Tampa Bay area?
So complaints to the Better Business Bureau actually on Rent-A-Center specific, we received over 1,400 complaints in the last 3 years. And there's actually an alert regarding a pattern of complaints in the BBB business profile.
That was my next question. What is the pattern?
So the pattern that we have here is specifically complaints received by the Better Business Bureau allege abusive, unfair, or deceptive collection practices executed by Rent-A-Center employees.
Okay, so there were two issues that the investigation just covered. It was the collection practices and the cost of the appliances, the furniture itself. We're going to get to that in a second. Jerry, you watched this investigation. What were the first things that crossed your mind?
Well, number one, Rent-A-Center does not have the right to breach the peace to enter the property, and they don't have the right to illegally enter the property. That's one of the Florida laws. So that disturbed me a great deal. It appeared that they were just disturbing the peace and harassing people.
So that raises an interesting question. If you are in that situation, what do you do?
I would call the police. In theory, the police are an honest broker here, and the police should not allow the Rent-A-Center people to come repossess that to let them in, and the police should actually act as an agent to cause people to disengage on a situation like that.
And the truth of the matter is, a lot of folks, we don't want to generalize, but a lot of folks who go to Rent-A-Center and other retailers like this are people who have no alternative if they need a television or an appliance in many cases.
Well, it's analogous to a pawn shop. The problem with Rent-A-Center is it's a lease, not a loan. And loans are protected by federal laws. Leases are not. So that's where it gets a little dicey.
So we'll get into that more in our next segment, but there are less consumer protections as far as the state of Florida is concerned.
Well, but Florida does have a fair number. It has 14 requirements in the contract that help the consumer.
Like what?
Well, it's supposed to list the price of the item, when it's new, how much the ultimate payment would be. It's supposed to actually list what the percentage rate would be. It's supposed to list if it's new or used. There's just an endless list of requirements.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up, and we'll have much more on rent-to-own retailers right after we check the first alert weather, so stay with us.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Our conversation on Rent-A-Center continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Beautiful out there today, Ellen. Low humidity, which I like, and mid-70s for highs. This morning's lows were in the mid-50s and pretty similar conditions expected tomorrow morning. Beautiful sunset there. Look at that. Van Wezel webcam showing that nice color of the sun there going down. No clouds around. Low temperatures tonight. Well, they'll be a couple degrees warmer than they were this morning, but still on the cool side. Most everyone will be in the 50s, upper 50s near the beaches. And if you're right on the barrier islands, it'll be right around 60 degrees to start the morning off. 53 in Inglewood, that's the expected low. 57 in Venice. Lakewood Branch will be down to 55 degrees, and 58 in Bradenton, 59 at Longboat Key, and 60 degrees Anna Maria, and under fair skies to start the day off. Well, the radar picture will not show any returns tonight, tomorrow, or most of Saturday morning, but then things start to change. Saturday late and into Saturday night and early Sunday morning. It looks like that's the timing right now. That could change depending upon the future motion of this little tropical disturbance down to our south in the Western Caribbean. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but for tonight, not bad. 60 degrees, clear skies by 11 o'clock tonight, and we'll look for clear skies to start the day off tomorrow. Right now, it's 66 degrees. The dew point, 43. Winds are out of the east, very light now at 5 miles an hour. That easterly flow now will start to warm things up more so tomorrow, and then we'll see it out of the southeast on Saturday. That will bring the humidity values up somewhat in advance of a cold front. 74 the high today, 9 degrees shy of the average, which is normally 83, and 56 the morning low. 65 is the average low temperature. So it was nice this morning, 56 degrees. No rainfall to report. We're above average for the year and slightly below average for the month, just at 45/100ths of an inch below average. Well, the forecast tomorrow calling for upper 70s in some areas along the beaches, low 80s if you're near I-75, Lakewood Branch, Parrish, even into looks like Ellington. You'll see temperatures right around 82 degrees. Well, down to our south, we are watching this area. This is a disturbance, a low pressure area that is trying to develop but having a little success at this point. The National Hurricane Center gives it a 30% chance of developing over the next 48 hours. But then after that, things may improve as it moves northward just near the western portion of Cuba. And some models are indicating that this will turn into a tropical storm, Philippe, and then head off into the Gulf and then across South Florida. So there's still a lot of question marks with it, though. But this is one particular forecast model that does show the moisture coming up. And then here comes the cold front. The two will meet right here, and then eventually it will carry it off into the Atlantic late Saturday night and into Sunday morning. That's the timing, and it looks like that's the hope of the models right now. So we're going to see that most of the heavy rain staying to our south right now, but we could still see some pretty heavy shower and thunderstorm activity, as I mentioned, late on Saturday. Well, tropical tracker showing that low pressure area off the coast of Nicaragua, and it's so close to land. That's the reason why we don't expect it to develop that rapidly. And then it moves northward. And then after that, You can see the models kind of take it through the western tip of Cuba and then on in through the Bahamas. And it would not be a very big storm. It would be a heavy rainmaker, and the winds could be up to tropical storm force strength. East winds for boaters tomorrow, 10 to 15 knots. A light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature has cooled down really down to 77 degrees. It's dropped about 7 degrees just in the last 2 days, which is pretty good. And as far as the forecast goes for the next 7 days, you can see that 30% chance on Saturday, 70% chance Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and then windy and turning cooler on Sunday and Monday. Alan will be back with his guests right after this. Stick around.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork for free, and best of all, your brace is shipped directly to your home for free. Don't let chronic lower back pain slow you down. Get moving and stay active with a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost. We also accept Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, and other insurance. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare? Find out for free.
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-715-0835. That's 1-800-715-0835, 1-800-715-0835.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Medicare's annual election period has begun. If you already have Medicare, new benefits may now be available with no copays, no deductibles, or $0 premiums. Call now to speak to a licensed insurance agent who can help guide you step by step through a free analysis of the benefits available to you. And you may be eligible for plans that even include additional coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. MedicareAdvantage.com searches thousands of insurance plans from leading insurance companies. We'll help you find plans that may cost you less, cover more benefits, and give you more choices, like home delivery of your prescriptions, gym memberships, and even over-the-counter allowances for everyday needs, like antacid, allergy medicine, vitamins, and even toothpaste. Don't miss the deadline to enroll. It's time to get more out of Medicare.
Call 800-579-3380. That's 800-579-3380. 800-579-3380. Call now.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Welcome back. We're talking about Rent-A-Center and other rent-to-own retailers. And joining us for more is Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau and Jerry Zivak, our own consumer watchdog. So we talked about some over-the-top collection practices in our last segment, but there is another issue that was in our investigation that is also incredible, and that is the markups. I mean, I looked at some of the prices on Rent-A-Center's website locally and then compared it to, let's say, a refrigerator at Home Depot, same make, model number, and it was drastically more expensive. How often do you see this in terms of the complaints that come to the BBB?
Well, the markups are high, and that's their business model, and that's where consumers need to be aware of this. They need to know that if they're doing these weekly rentals and they add that up, it's going to be much higher than it is if they purchase at a retail store.
Jerry, is there any law on the state or federal level that limits how much you can mark up an item?
No, you can mark it up as much as you want, but in Florida you have to disclose how much it is initially, whether or not you're buying a used product or a new product. A lot of times you're buying used stuff and you think it's new. And if you want, and there has to be a disclosure in the contract, if you want to pay your contract off early, how they're going to calculate that payment instead of having to pay. A lot of times they front load charges if you want to pay it off early. And the Florida contract also requires delivery charges. Any late payment fees are capped really at $5 and any other charges. So in theory, the whole Florida contract lays this all out. You have to be willing to take the time to read through it. The Florida actually requires it to be in the 6-point type, so it's instead of that little print, that it's actually readable.
Brian, how often do you find by looking at the complaints on this particular retailer or others that the problem is that the consumer, the customer, has not really read or taken time to read the contracts that they're signing?
Well, it is common in complaints. Consumers do complain that they didn't understand the contract. In a lot of cases, too, what's told you verbally, you need to make sure is put in writing. We also have complaints where the salesperson told the consumer one thing, but when they went back to the contract, it wasn't there in writing. So consumers need to do their homework, they need to be diligent, and they need to approach this knowing what they're doing and making sure they're reviewing this information and researching these companies ahead of time so they're making informed decisions when they lease these.
Jerry, it seems from our investigation that there is a particular problem with this retailer, not just in Florida, but across the entire United States. Why isn't the Federal Trade Commission or other federal entity in a position to actually do something about it?
Well, they are in a position to do something. Take the situation with Aaron's Furniture. That's
another retailer.
Thank you. They were leasing computers and electronics, and they were putting software inside the computer that were tracking people's buying habits and who knows what else. So the FTC does have the right to look into this and do this, and why they're not, I don't know.
I have that FTC complaint right here. It's incredible. Aaron's franchisees use the software which surreptitiously tracked consumers' locations, captured images through the computer's webcams, and activated key foggers that captured users' log-on credentials for email accounts and financial and social media sites. That is flat out scary.
It is. And you know, where there's limitations on government regulation, that's where Better Business Bureau can be a great resource for consumers, because a lot of times we're on the front end receiving these complaints, these concerns from consumers, and we put that information out there in our business profiles on these companies. So the first step consumers should do is check companies out with the Better Business Bureau. Go online, add the word review or complaint after the company's name, see what other people are saying about those companies, and prepare yourself if you're going in there to know what you're dealing with those companies.
Now, we should make it clear the Better Business Bureau is not an arm of the government. You're not a law enforcement agency. But how aware is the, let's say, Florida Attorney General's office about these practices, and what can it do about it?
Well, I'm not sure how aware they are with it, but the Better Business Bureau has this information available to consumers when they need it, which is right now. So we have consumer experiences at their fingertips of what consumers are complaining to the Better Business Bureau about. We compile that data, and that helps consumers make informed decisions. Consumers also need to file complaints with the State Attorney General's office, the Federal Trade Commission, so that information is submitted. The more consumers present this to the right agencies, the more they can approach these agencies and crack down.
Well, that was my next question, Jerry. In terms of where we are right now, in terms of, you know, all arms of the government, whether it's state or federal, I mean, budgets are tight and oversight is limited. How on top is the Federal Trade Commission in terms of these companies, in terms of abuses, whether it's in terms of aggressive collections or incredible markups?
I don't think they're very on top at all. And I think, not to make a generalization, but a lot of times people that are using these types of rent-own places don't have a lot of resources. And people that don't have a lot of resources don't have a lot of political clout. And if you don't have a lot of political clout, are you going to get the government to respond? I don't think it will more often than not.
But I did talk to the Florida Attorney General's office, and they did have a considerable amount of cases or complaints against Rent-A-Center. But are state agencies less powerful in terms of what it can do other than the federal government?
Well, I think they both have the power to actually put these people out of business and make it very difficult for them, but nobody's doing that.
Right, and Brian, so what would you tell customers here before they go out and they desperately need, whether it's a piece of furniture or an appliance or anything else, what to do before you sign on the dotted line, so to speak?
Yeah, I think the key here in this incident is consumers need to make informed decisions. They need to do their homework first. They need to do the research, and then they need to make sure what's told to them verbally is in the contract and in writing. This is an important scenario where they need to read that contract thoroughly and understand what they're getting into. And just being an educated consumer in this case and being prepared for these payments, know that you can make these payments on time, because this is a scenario where if they miss a payment, it can cost them a lot more money and then they can't purchase the product that they wanted to.
And Jerry, I don't know if I asked this before, but is there a limitation in terms of how aggressively a collector can come in terms of trying to get that debt, even if it's like $60 or overpayment?
It can be $1, and if you breach your contract, you're at risk, but they can't break the law. They have to follow laws. And basically, I think all businesses would be better off if they just treated people the way they would want to be treated. And they knew the risks when they leased, and the person that leased knew the obligations when they did that.
Okay, we have to take a quick break, and we'll be back for final thoughts when we return.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Our guest joining us right now for final thoughts. And Jerry, I'm curious what your takeaway is. You know, the investigation started with a young woman from Florida, from the Miami area, who basically had to endure an incredible situation in terms of how aggressive Rent-A-Center was in terms of trying to collect on a $60 overdue bill. What would you tell people?
Well, I think people are intimidated when they sign contracts. The salesperson says, here's a contract, sign it, it's all standard language. Well, it's not. And if you read this contract and if you don't understand it, there's nothing wrong with adding yourself the representations that were made by the salesperson. You know, put it in language that you understand. It's plain and simple. These contracts are designed a lot of times to obfuscate the issue. And at all times, you should try and find something for free. There are resources out there, you know, freeware, churches, the Salvation Army has furniture vouchers, friends, you can reach out, you know, if you're moving into a place, maybe the person that's leaving has furniture, so you should try and stay away from it.
But Brian, these businesses are in business for a good reason. People are turning to them when they need a new TV or appliance. How often do you get complaints, if it's not just about Rent-A-Center, but other similar rent-your-own companies?
Well, in the rent-own industry, BBB receives thousands of complaints. Consumers are complaining to us, and our goal is to help consumers through that process, develop information so they can come to us, and that's the key here, is consumers need to do their homework, their research first, before they make any buying decision when it comes to companies. And then in a case like this, they need to compare their options. This may be the only option, but there are other options. There's layaway options now, there's potentially financing through retail stores, and just understanding the costs at the end game of this.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much. FYI, you can watch past discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And just a reminder, if you want to stay up to date on the latest local breaking news and see all the alerts on your phone instantly, iPhone and iPad users, you will need to download our new news app. Just go to the App Store and search for WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users, you have nothing to worry about. You're going to get it anyway, automatically. We want to thank both our guests for being here tonight, Brian Oglesby of the Better Business Bureau and Jerry Zivick, our consumer watchdog. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus President Trump declares an opioid crisis a public health emergency. So stay with us.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Many people with Medicare may be able to get extra benefits and don't even know they're available. You may be able to get dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage included in your plan. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline to see if you can get the extra benefits you deserve. The Medicare Coverage Helpline is now accepting calls. You may be able to get extra benefits, including dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. Making sure you go to the doctor and taking all your medications as prescribed can help protect your health. To make it easier, you may now be able to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that includes coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Help protect your health by choosing the right plan for you and get all the benefits you deserve.
Call to see if you may be able to get extra benefits, including dental, vision, and prescription coverage. Don't miss the annual election period deadline for Medicare Advantage. Call now. Call 800-711-7200. That's 800-711-7200.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. I'll tell you, we have a beautiful day today. Lots of nice sunshine, temperatures in the mid-70s. It really felt like fall, but we'll get a little warmer tomorrow. You can see Casey Key webcam, and you can see a beautiful sunset tonight, too. Seas are starting to calm down. The advisories are slipping away, and they'll be back, though, I think, by Sunday afternoon. Small craft advisories will return to the coastal waters due to another front that's going to move through here. Evening planner looks good, though, through this evening. Temperatures dropping down to around 60 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. Just a little bit warmer temperatures. Not much, though. It's going to still be on the cool side to start things off on your Friday. Here's a look at those lows predicted for some cities around town. Port Charlotte, 56. Northport, you'll be at 52 degrees to start the morning off. The winds won't be that strong, though. So it shouldn't be too bad out there. 56 at Osprey, 55 Lakewood Ranch, kind of get us into the mode of these cold fronts, because we're going to start to see more and more of these come down every 3 to 5 days or so. Anna Maria, 60. There'll be a little warmer out there in Anna Maria as a result of the warmer water temperature, although it's dropping now, too, down into the mid-70s for the most part. Well, the radar picture will stay inactive here. We're not anticipating any rainfall throughout the day on Friday. Great weather for activities tomorrow night, and football Friday night, one of those. It looks like that's going to be okay. So we'll have several weeks in a row where the weather's going to cooperate on that front. 66 degrees right now. Dew point temperature is at 43, the same as the humidity, and the winds are out of the east at light at 5 miles an hour. The pressure 30.03. And no rainfall to report today. It's going to stay dry. We could see some showers and storms start to move in Saturday morning, but more so later in the day now. That's what it looks like at present. For tonight, though, no rain. Just a few clouds down again, but not much. Fair skies, temperatures down into the mid-50s to start things off. Well, the official end of the hurricane season is November 30th. We still have just over a month to go before the official end, and we're watching another system down here trying to get its act together. It's below the very cool and dry air, so it's down here in the warm, moist sector, and there's a chance it could spin up. The chance is at 40% over the next 5 days. If it were to develop, more than likely it will traverse off to the north, and then a cold front, this one right here, will pick it up and carry it across the southern portion of the state, it looks like now, through the Bahamas. There's still some uncertainty to it, but the timing of it appears to keep us at least from getting the brunt of this system, but we still will see some showers and some storms associated with the front and the tropical moisture associated with this disturbance as it works its way northward in time. On Saturday, it should be up in this general area and then eventually pushing across South Florida rather rapidly due to this front, and the strong winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere will now not allow this to organize itself into a monster storm for that matter. We'll see some heavier storms, as I mentioned, as far as rain goes. But nothing too significant as far as winds. Water temperature still very warm in the southwest Caribbean, and that's about the last area that we see storms develop in the month of November is in that southwestern portion of the Caribbean Sea. East winds at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be 2 to 3 feet. There'll be a light chop in the bays and in the waters. Water temperature now at 77. UV index 11 tomorrow. A high tide upcoming in just a few minutes, and sunset at 6:51 tomorrow. Clear, cool tonight, and comfortable, 56 for your low. Tomorrow, look for some sunshine and just a few clouds in the afternoon. That should read Friday, by the way, and a warm finish, 82 for the high. The extended forecast is calling for beautiful weather tomorrow. Clouds increasing on Saturday, rain chances increasing as well, and then cooler weather comes back to play Sunday and Monday. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump is making it official, declaring the opioid crisis a public health emergency, but it is a step back from the president's repeated commitment to declare opioids a national emergency. But the administration says it's a better way to combat the crisis that kills tens of thousands of Americans each year. ABC's Lana Zach is in Washington.
Today in the White House, President Trump announced that the opioid crisis will become an official public health emergency.
It is time to liberate our communities from this scourge of drug addiction. Never been this way. We can be the generation that ends the opioid epidemic. We can do it.
According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the opioid crisis kills around 100 Americans every single day, and those numbers continue to rise. Back in August, the president made headlines for calling the opioid crisis a national emergency.
The opioid crisis is an emergency, and I'm saying officially right now it is an emergency. It's a national emergency.
But at that time, he didn't sign a declaration to make the designation official. And today's announcement stopped short of the national emergency declaration as well. By calling it a public health emergency, it will ease some laws and regulations and allow the Department of Health and Human Services to reallocate some grant money to battle opioid abuse. That's different than how the president declared it a national emergency, which would have immediately made available new federal funds that are usually reserved for disasters like hurricanes or tornadoes. Some Democrats are arguing that the public health declaration, though, isn't enough.
What I would say to the president on that is, show me the money.
In his announcement, the president also invoked the memory of his brother Fred, who battled an addiction to alcohol, and encouraged the president never to take a drink. And the president's message today on opioids was much of the same, saying that we should encourage young people never to start. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
We've been waiting all day for the release of the long classified files on the assassination of JFK, and now they are out. President Trump now says some documents, however, will not be made public. 2,800 records have been approved for release, with the rest of the records remaining secret, backtracking on the statement President Trump said just the other day that all the documents would be released. Today's deadline was set in 1992 after Oliver Stone's movie JFK sparked a new round of fervor over Kennedy's assassination. Historians who have closely studied the assassination don't expect the documents to reveal any new bombshells. Travelers flying to the U.S. on international flights will now need to get to the airport even earlier. Enhanced security measures designed to detect explosives and electronic devices started today. Many airlines are conducting security interviews with all passengers as part of the check-in process. The new measure comes after the U.S. banned all carry-on laptops from certain airports in Turkey, the Middle East, and Africa in March. Any airline that fails to meet the new standards could face a full laptop ban for all its passengers. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.